Hey, what's going on, everyone? For this video, I'm going to review PWG's The Curse of Gorilla Island, and after I'm done with that, I want to do an IVP recommendations video. I just want to recommend a lot of stuff that you could pick up from Japan, from Pro Wrestling Noah, from Dragon Gate in Japan, and New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. Um, IVPvideos.com. They sell the Japanese wrestling shows, the Puro shows, on a good quality DVD, and you can pick them up for a really, really cheap price. So I just wanted to do that, but first let's talk about PWG's The Curse of Gorilla Island. I would definitely recommend this show. I thought it was good. I actually thought it was probably not the worst PWG show of the year at all. I thought it was very good. Not one of the better shows, but still good. Very, very short, though. Very easy to sit through. I think the length of the show is probably going to hurt the overall rating because it was just too short. It runs in about a solid 2 hours long. I thought the main event was going great, but it was just a slightly little bit too short. I would say it was probably the best match of the year that was under 15 minutes. But really quickly, yeah, for those of you guys that probably don't know, I'm sure many of you guys already know this, but Claudio Castagnoli actually won the PWG Championship on the show. Davey Richards actually vacated the title, because of his commitment to, I believe it was New Japan. So he had to vacate the title. So this is for the vacant PWG title. They had a four-way, just a four-way match, just a regular fatal four-way match, one fall to a finish. It was Claudio Castagnoli, Brandon Gatson, the hot up-and-comer in PWG, Joey Ryan, who won the PWG Battle Los Angeles in September, which a lot of people were pissed off about. And then we had that young knockout kid, Chris Hero, Claudio Castagnoli's tag team partner from the Kings of Wrestling. So yeah, this is a fatal four-way match. This was good. I mean, I really, really enjoyed it. It was going great, kind of reminiscent of the Angle Mysterio Randy Orton match from WrestleMania 22. Just really great action for the amount of time that it went, but it just kind of left you wanting more. I would say that I just thought they could have done a little bit more, but spectacular action. Just kind of a spot happy match. Gatson looked pretty good here. He fit in well with these guys, but he kind of relies on a little bit of his too much of his gymnastic stuff out there. I just think he's a little bit too spot happy. Joey Ryan looked great though. Joey Ryan hit a lot of nice super kicks. Just good action, a lot of good exchanges. Hero hit some suicidal offense for someone that's 6'5". Hero is in amazing shape, and he's starting to add a lot of high flying dimensions to his arsenal, which is he's just an amazing wrestler and an amazing performer. Chris Hero. And Claudio Castagnoli in PWG is very, very fun to watch. He looked impressive as always. I mean, the guy is just, I would say that Claudio Castagnoli, you could actually, now he's the PWG champion. And like I said, the match was probably the best match of the year that was under 15 minutes. I'll probably give it like 3 3/4 stars. It was just too short though. But yeah, Claudio Castagnoli, the new PWG champion. I would say that you could definitely argue that Claudio is the MVP of 2010, the best wrestler of 2010 in the world. I think you could argue that. And without a doubt, like other guys have said on here, probably the king of the indies. He's one half of the Jakarta Tag Team Champions, the leader of arguably the most dominant faction in professional wrestling right now, the Bruderschaft, the BDK, and one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and now he's the PWG champion. So Claudio Castagnoli, he's the man right now. But as far as match quality goes, as a singles competitor, he just doesn't have the resume that Marufuji has from this year, Tyler Black or Davey Richards has from this year. But he's definitely up there though. So yeah, congratulations to Claudio. Hero cut an awesome promo after the show, and so did Joey Ryan. And now the thing about this show was, now the PWG, they don't have, like, they're kind of slowing down. I would say this is probably the weakest time that PWG has had in a while. They've been on fire for the last 2 years, but Davey's not showing up, Omega's not there, Roderick's not there, so a lot of the guys aren't coming to the shows anymore. So they don't really feel like supercards anymore. Now they seem like they're going back to storylines with this show. On the undercard, they have this faction. I guess they're called the Taylor Boys. We had Brian Cage Taylor. I guess they just added the Taylor onto his name just for the stable. I'm not so sure about that, but yeah, Brian Cage Taylor. Most of you guys remember him from PWG 7. Then you had Ryan Taylor. He really reminds me of Tyler Black, Ryan Taylor. And then you had Chuck Taylor. Most of you guys know Chuck Taylor. He just had a match with Austin Aries at Evolve 6. He's got a lot of potential, got a lot of charisma. Yeah, so they're putting all the Taylor boys together. They're kind of like, it seems like they're going to have their own faction now. And even Excalibur said on commentary, now the battle lines are drawn. they did a beatdown to Johnny Yuma after Brian Cage Taylor defeated him in the opening match. So it looks like, yeah, like I said, it looks like this Taylor faction is going to be a serious deal in PWG. All right, so the other matches we're talking about, we had the Briscoes versus the Cutler brothers. This was good, a little bit better than I expected. A lot of people kind of said this was average, pretty much what you would expect. I thought it was good. The Briscoes and PWG have been putting on some really, really good efforts. I think the PWG stuff is just as good as the ROH stuff. You would imagine that they would hold back, but that really wasn't the case. And the Cutlers, this was even better than their match against El Generico and Paul London. This is one of their better matches of the year, in my opinion. So this was really, really good stuff. They played great heels in this match. The Cutlers were playing the arrogant heels. They were showing off their abs and stuff like that. The Briscoes had everyone on their side, though. So, yeah, that was a good match. Probably like a 3.5-star match. And then we had Johnny Goodtime versus Chuck Taylor. Now, Johnny Goodtime is actually very, very popular. You know, you go on the PWG message board, a lot of people would say that this guy is very, very underrated. You know, he puts his body on the line. A lot of the fans, a lot of the PWG fans really identify with him. He's got a great following. He faced Chuck Taylor in a match, and then you know, the two other Taylors came out, distracted the referee, and then Chuck Taylor got the win with the Omega Driver. It wasn't anything special. Good Times had better matches than this, but you know, like I said, Good Time. A lot of people would prefer Good Time to be pushed over Brandon Gatson, so I found that very, very interesting. And the match of the night was El Generico versus Ricochet, 4 1/4 stars, one of the best PWG matches of the year. This was great. You know, Ricochet is a light-skinned black guy, very, very skinny, could do a lot of cool moves. He wrestles as, like I said so many times, he wrestles in Chikara as part of the Future Is Now with the mask on, and he's part of Dragon Gate USA. Now, Dragon Gate USA is pushing him hard. I haven't seen any recent Dragon Gate USA stuff, but I heard he's teaming up with SEMA on some of the shows. I believe he's part of, is he part of Warriors now? I think he's part of the Warriors faction in Dragon Gate USA, and yeah, I mean, this guy is one of the hottest guys on the independent scene right now. And him and Generico just had an awesome match. And like I said before about El Generico is definitely the most reliable guy on the independent scene. You put him in the ring with someone that's at least halfway decent, you're guaranteed a really, really good match every single time. And yeah, Generico and Ricochet just had an awesome match. This was kind of reminiscent of the PWG All-Star Weekend 5 match with Pac, El Generico versus Pac. That was an ultra spot-happy match. But it was so much fun to watch. So was this. Ricochet pulled off so many sick things. He did a running Hurricane Rana, which came off really good. He hit a Dragon Rana. He hit a suicidal dive over the top of the turnbuckle onto the middle of the ring aisle onto Generico. That was sick. Generico looked awesome here. I mean, the crowd was great. Generico was actually playing a heel through most of the match. He actually, you know, kind of reminiscent of the Piper versus Brett match from WrestleMania 8 with, like, Piper, you know, toying with the fans about hitting Brett over the head with a... what was it, the ring bell? Generico was pretty much doing the same thing with a set of beer bottles, like a set of, I forget what it was. It was some kind of beer can or something like that. But yeah, this is just a great match. It's one of the best PWG matches of the year. Like I said, I give it 4 1/4 stars. So that's the Curse of Gorilla Island. I would definitely recommend picking this up. I'll probably give it a 7.75. I thought it was that good. The second half of the show is phenomenal, though. It's really, really solid. And you know, I'm really happy that PWG is going back to storylines with this Taylor faction, and then you got promos. You know, the end of the show featured 3 great promos, and Claudio Castagnoli actually said, "Don't worry, PWG fans, I'll be back." So that's good. So Claudio's going to be sticking around, and yeah, and I think the PWG Championship is needs to be defended a little bit more. Looks like we're going to get Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli down the road. I think that'll be huge. They definitely set up a Claudio versus Joe Ryan match in the future. And at the same time, I really think it would be cool to see Claudio versus Roderick Strong. You have ROH champion versus PWG champion. I think that's a possibility. So if Roderick retains a final battle, that's something you could do after the new year. So yeah, so that's PWG's Curse of Gorilla Island.